Our connection is that Guru Maharaj also took birth in Bangladesh. Guru Maharaj's birthplace is in Kuthi, and Guru Maharaj loved Bangladesh devotees. Whenever he used to visit Bangladesh, there used to be more than 30,000 40,000 devotees in some programs. And they used to have grand reception for Guru Maharaj and so many festivities. But unfortunately, today the situation has become very, very unfavorable. The devotees are suffering, especially the Hindus are being attacked. And in Bangladesh, Hindus means ISKCON. The majority is devotees, they are in Hindu community. So they are targeting different temples. More than a dozen temples have been attacked. So we should extend our prayers and support to all devotees there. Of course, in material world, there is Padam Padam Vipadam. Today we are talking about Bangladesh. It can happen to our own countries. It can happen to any place in this world. And our only shelter is Krishna. We depend on Krishna. We depend on His shelter. We depend on His protection. If He wants to save us, there is nobody who can kill us, nobody can harm us. And if He wants us to be killed, there is nobody who can save us. Tumi to mari bejare, ke tare rakhite pare. Shri Guru Maharaj used to sing this song many times. So we should have that faith and we should pray to the Lord that in any condition we remain surrendered unto Him. After all, our lives are preparation so that we become surrendered to Krishna. And these situations are an opportunity where we can learn to surrender more and more. So, with this, we enter into our today's discussion. I was recently fortunate to have association of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj was in Govardhan Eco village in Vada, and he was sharing his experience with Guru Maharaj. And one of the things which Maharaj told about Guru Maharaj was very striking to me. That if you want to describe him, he was always giving. His nature was how I can give maximum to others. He would give his time, he would give whatever resources he have, he would extend his love and affection, he would extend his energy, his endeavors, everything possible to serve others. Maharaj was mentioning that when he was sick, Guru Maharaj would take care of him whole night. He would request Maharaj to stay with him in his own room. So he was always giving. And that characteristic is very important for a Vaishnava. We study in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, when Krishna goes with his Gopa friends to the forest, then Krishna glorifies the trees. And Krishna tells his Gopa friends that, look, these trees, they are so magnanimous. They live for others. And therefore, anybody who wants to have a glorious life should serve others by four things. Pranai, Arthe, Dhiya, Vacha. Four things. By giving up their life for others, by giving the assets and wealth one has for serving others, by speaking pleasant words or encouraging words for helping others, and using one's intelligence to serve others. By these four methods, one lives a life of paropkar, helping others. And that is very much matching to Guru Maharaj's mood and his mission. There was one side topic which I will discuss now, otherwise I'll forget. We also asked Maharaj one question, that Maharaj, when Guru Maharaj left this world, then we had many sessions by senior devotees. And every day A senior devotee would give their remembrance with Guru Maharaj, and they would give us solace and strength, and they would encourage us. And that time we were told in many of the sessions that, with time, you will get more settled. Means you're missing Guru Maharaj now, but with time you'll become more habituated to the ongoing life. And we asked Maharaj that, Maharaj, it's not happening. It has been 4 years since Guru Maharaj left us physically, but the pain is increasing. It's not that we are getting more habituated or settled. And then Maharaj started to laugh. Maharaj said, it's good you're not getting settled. Were Brajvasis ever settled that yes, Krishna left Vrindavan, we are okay now? It has been 100 years, now it's okay, Krishna left, we are managing ourselves. No, their pain was ever increasing. And Maharaj gave a beautiful example. He said it was raining that time, so he was pointing out to the rains outside. And he said, look at the rains. Rainy season is difficult because it's difficult to move out during the rainy season. It's difficult to do things during the rainy season. But this 1 month of rains nourishes the forest for the next 1 year. In the same way, the feeling of separation may be difficult, but this feeling of separation nourishes our devotional life for eternity. So the experience which we are getting now, it may be painful, it is painful, and it never will be a time that we will be okay, that okay, now we are on our own and we are settled. But this separation will nourish our love more and more towards our spiritual master. Therefore, it is very, very important to remember his qualities, his contributions in our life individually. Yes, Guru Maharaj was a world preacher. He had gone to different big projects, big preaching programs. He has cultivated thousands of devotees. But how Guru Maharaj is relevant to me, that is important. How his mercy has nourished me, that is important. And when we reflect on that every day, our relationship with our spiritual master grows. Therefore, like you are meeting every month, it's a very good example for other yatras. Even here in South Africa, devotees are doing that. They have like so many sanghas where devotees come together and meet. And in these programs, when we discuss the qualities and pastimes of Guru Maharaj, that relationship becomes more and more stronger. And that relationship only drives us closer to Him. So let us focus on these four things which Guru Maharaj exhibited in his life. Pranay Arthe Dhiyavaj. So first we'll start with Pranay. Guru Maharaj gave his life for serving devotees, for serving Srila Prabhupada, for serving the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Although giving up life sometimes means that giving up life or dying for somebody, but giving up life also means giving each moment of one's life for serving others. This is a photo from Sridham Mayapur, and you can see this is his quarters and his personal bedroom, and this is very late in night, maybe 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and Guruma's lights are on. We know he would sleep very less and get up early for serving others. He would call devotees in night who are overseas, their time zone to match their time zone, and he would speak to them. He would help them, counsel them, arrange for D-Land project and other projects, and that's how he would work throughout the night. And by the time he would get up in the morning, by the time other devotees would get up in the morning, he would already finish his rounds. One day, one devotee was traveling with us, and he told me that, Prabhu, Guru Maharaj doesn't chant his rounds. I said, what are you speaking? I said, what time you get up? He said, I get up at 6 o'clock. Then I explained to him that, Prabhu, Guru Maharaj chant his rounds before Mangalarti. If you're fortunate enough to get up at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, you can see him chanting. So that was his giving every moment in serving Vaishnavas. This is a day when Guru Maharaj was very sick. He was down with fever, heavy cold, and he could barely speak. But he had already invited many guests to take prasad with him in his quarters. And they were his godbrothers, including Amrish Prabhu and others. So Guru Maharaj said that what can I do? How can I handle this with this type of health? So he said, I'll take steam. So this is Guru Maharaj taking steam. Baninath Prabhu is covering Guru Maharaj with a towel, and Guru Maharaj is taking steam. And after this, he went and he met everybody as if nothing happened. He never mentioned that he is sick or he is not well. This is from Surat. Guru Maharaj was having heavy fever, and devotees were giving him different treatment. As you know, in India, everybody is a doctor, so they have their own treatments. So they were all trying on Guru Maharaj. Somebody was doing some acupuncture, somebody was giving him Ayurvedic, somebody was giving allopathic, and some kada and some haldi and this and that. They were giving all type of treatment. And Guru Maharaj became very, very upset. And in the meantime, he became so weak that he was lying on chair like this. He was hardly having any energy. And one devotee came and he told Guru Maharaj, one Mataji in the congregation is very sick. Can you speak to her? Now, he himself is so sick, but he's talking to that Mataji and encouraging her.
Is there sound, Prabhu, in that clip?
Yes, yes, but
Because
very
I think
feeble.
you
I'll
haven't
repeat.
shared.
I'll repeat.
Okay, bro.
I'll repeat. Guru Maharaj was mentioning to her that it's very important to remain Krishna conscious. So you read Srila Prabhupada books. But due to your sickness, if you cannot read Srila Prabhupada books, then request others to read for you. That's what Guru Maharaj is encouraging her. So that's how even he is sick, but he's extending himself without mentioning to the person on another end that how he is struggling. But still he is giving his prana to help them. Guru Maharaj also established a very ideal example of his sadhana. Like, it's not very easy when you travel and when Guru Maharaj is such an advanced stage of his I mean, externally his body was growing old, and still he was setting a perfect example of sadhana. This is in D-land. Every morning, although Guru Maharaj used to chant his rounds before Mangalarti, but he would attend morning program with devotees to set a right example. And he would sit in the lecture every day. And we used to have Srila Prabhupada class every day. Guru Maharaj used to give class on Sunday. And on the weekdays, we used to have Srila Prabhupada's lecture every day. And Guru Maharaj would sit. And after the class, half an hour, Prabhupada's class generally half an hour. So after the class, Guru Maharaj would turn to our devotees and then he would ask, okay, what points you learned? That's how he would make everybody hear Srila Prabhupada very attentively. And our attendance in Mangala Arati was Guru Maharaj himself. So he would stand there, and whenever the door would open, he would look who is coming. So if you are late, then yassa prasadat bhagavad prasado, yassa prasadan nagati kutopi. Guru Maharaj would notice who is coming late and who didn't come. And after Tulsi Aarti, he would sit on Vyasasana and then he would address the devotees that how it is important to follow the morning program and how it is important to be idle in the sadhana. So, by his own example, although it's not very easy to follow such schedule, but Guru Maharaj was handling it just to inspire the devotees. And there is one more detail added to it. Actually, this is when Guru Maharaj was staying at the farm, but later on, Guru Maharaj started to stay little farther at another place in Sanford, which is closer to the city, because he wanted to cultivate some local people near that place. So he was staying there. And that place was 1 hour drive. So to inspire devotees, he would drive for 1 hour from Sanford to temple in the morning. So we used to leave at 3:15 or sometimes 3:30 from Guru Maharaj's place, and we would drive and reach temple at 4:30 in the morning, so that Guru Maharaj is with devotees, inspiring them. Sometimes at night, when he was very tired, then also he would feel the need that devotees are expecting him to lead kirtans, because in Ujjain, the devotees must have experienced that every evening Guru Maharaj would lead kirtans. But in D-Land, because he was staying so far, he would come whole day. He was with devotees on the site, serving just like a young boy. In evening, he would still give himself to lead kirtans. And and although we could see Guru Maharaj is so tired, but for the inspiration of devotees, he would do that. He was giving himself completely. This is when we used to work on the site. It would be very heavy work, as you can see, breaking things, building things. But Guru Maharaj would be standing with us all the time. Sometimes devotees would work in sun and they would be tired, and Guru Maharaj would personally go and he would make lassi or nimbu pani and bring for all devotees and feed from his own hands. And sometimes devotees would become tired. They would go to Guru Maharaj and said, Guru Maharaj, can we take some rest? Guru Maharaj said, yes, yes, sure, you can take rest. But he would not take rest because other devotees were working, and he would just stand there with them to encourage them. And all devotees who were serving there were in their 20s or at most in their 30s. But Guru Maharaj was 75, but he was giving himself full day with devotees. Another way of seeing his services, he wanted to do everything perfect for Srila Prabhupada. So whenever we were doing some service, he would come from somewhere and he would encourage that, no, no, it has to be done like this. Let me help you. This is, a devotee is assembling a faucet in toilet. Can you imagine a spiritual master helping a devotee fixing a faucet in the toilet? But he was like that. He was thinking that devotees should feel inspired. We were painting walls, and it used to take long time because you have to do one coat, then second coat, then third coat sometimes. And then Guru Maharaj got um, a spray painting machine, and in this he's himself teaching us how to use that machine. When we were recording this, Guru Maharaj said, why are you recording this? Do you want to show to the world that your spiritual master also know painting? I know everything. Then you know how we ran into a problem with cutting trees, and it was a tough time because we were into a risk of some government implications also. So Guru Maharaj would stand whole day with us, and it wasn't deep in forest sometimes because we cut almost 1,000 trees, more than 1,000 trees, and he would stand whole day. It would rain, it would be hot in summer, and because of that he got this kind of rashes all over his body, and this would itch very badly, which Guru Maharaj had to suffer for a long time. But he didn't leave devotees on their own. One time Guru Maharaj called for an Ishtagoshti, and he called all devotees and he said, as your leader, I take whole responsibility of this mistake, but we are together into this. He said that didn't Yudhishthir Maharaj make mistakes? But even though Yudhishthir Maharaj make mistakes, all the Pandavas handled it together. So I will not leave you in this situation. And he was all the time with the devotees. We hired a tractor, and Damodar Prasad, who was not having much experience of riding a tractor, so Guru Maharaj was sitting with him and guiding him. how to use a tractor, how to take wood from one place to another. And not just one time, throughout the day when he was serving, Guru Maharaj was sitting on tractor and helping him shifting this wood logs. And he gave a very beautiful teaching that time. Actually, I was assigned a service and I was attending to it, and because of which I could not go in this service of cutting the trees. So in the night, Guru Maharaj came and he became very, very upset. He told me, if you don't want to serve, you can go back to India. He was very upset. So anyway, I got the chastisement. In night, Guru Maharaj called. And in night, Guru Maharaj said, you know, it's not about how much you can serve, but it's about being together in the difficult time. That is very important. He said, I am not doing hard work. I am not cutting trees with devotees, but I am with them. I stand with them. I sit with them. I work with them. So they feel encouraged that in this difficult situation, we are together. So he was a perfect teacher. He was a perfect leader. And he was giving his prana for establishing the principles of Krishna consciousness. That was prana. Next, we come to arthe, by wealth. This is a famous one because we know Guru Maharaj was always extending his help to serve ISKCON. He always wanted to serve his god brothers just like he was treated. If you're serving Guru Maharaj, the plates must be same for his god brothers. The prashadam items must be same for his god brothers. Everything must be just same. The god brothers should get same treatment as him. Actually, my first experience was I was serving Guru Maharaj in Ujjain with his god brothers. And Bhagavad Ashray Prabhu and Burijan Prabhu, they were there. And as I was serving, so Bhagavad Ashray Prabhu told me that give me some curd. Now in India, we call curd dahi as curd. So I was not knowing what is curd. So anyway, there was some problem and then Guru Maharaj chastised. And finally he told that serve them as you serve me. That is the teaching. You never make distinction among my god brothers. So we used to see that how Guru Maharaj would be so cautious that his god brother should be treated very nicely. One time Guru Maharaj was returning from Mauritius to India and he booked in business class. And one devotee was traveling with Guru Maharaj, Himanga Chaitanya Prabhu. He was also booked in the business class. So when Guru Maharaj was boarding, he saw Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj was also in the same flight. So Guru Maharaj told Himanga Chaitanya Prabhu, Himanga, can you go in economy? Let Maharaj sit in business class. Because if I will sit in business class and Maharaj sits in economy, I can't tolerate that. Similarly, we were in Mumbai and we were going to Tirupati in I think 2019, and Guru Maharaj saw Malti Mataji, Srila Prabhupada's disciple. She was sitting in economy class, and Guru Maharaj had his ticket in the business class. Guru Maharaj immediately talked to the staff, and Guru Maharaj said, "Do you have an extra seat? Can she come in the front, or else I would like to go back and let her sit on my seat in the business class." So that way he was treating his god brothers with utmost respect. And whenever they called for any help, Guru Maharaj was always in the front. Like we know this famous Brooklyn case where Guru Maharaj saved the temple. But we don't know one part that Guru Maharaj was also sponsoring the legal fees required for that project. So he was paying from his own donations all the Lakshmi which was required for settling Brooklyn case. And devotees also asked Guru Maharaj that, Maharaj, why are you putting your own money? You know, this Brooklyn matter is it's a global matter and whole ISKCON should support. And then Guru Maharaj said, see, we already have so many projects. The TOVP is pending. So many projects are pending. How much we can pressurize devotees? So let me help. Whatever I can, I will do. So that was his love for his god brothers. And he would just put all his resources to serve them. We know when there is any opportunity to serve his god brothers, he would just do the best available. Like in GBC meetings in Ujjain, he tried his best to give royal treatment to his godbrothers. He brought new plates, new accommodation, new bed sheets, new pillows, everything possible. This is a photo when Guru Maharaj went to purchase vegetables for Sachinandan Maharaj. Sachinandan Maharaj was coming to D-Land, and Guru Maharaj personally went and he selected vegetables because Maharaj's diet chart said he only take organic food. So Guru Maharaj selected all organic vegetables, organic foodstuffs, and he brought it. And then Sachinandan Maharaj arrived and he had a very nice time. They had a nice lecture together. And then Guru Maharaj made both menus, the organic diet menu and elaborate Bengali menu. And then he was feeding Maharaj according to his diet. Maharaj honored Prasad and he was satisfied. And then Guru Maharaj said, see Maharaj, I followed your diet and I ate what you eat. Now you must also eat what I eat. So then Guru Maharaj started feeding him the Bengali menu also. So Maharaj ended up eating double from his normal diet. So he would always feel that responsibility for his godbrothers and he would try his best to serve them to the highest degree possible. And he did that in all the places. Like we were in Calcutta and there was a discussion where the GBCs of Calcutta were discussing that we should have a new temple in Calcutta. But who will raise the funds? Because it's so difficult to raise funds even for TOVP, and Calcutta is so near to TOVP. We have the same donor base. What to do? So they casually asked Guru Maharaj that, Maharaj, you are the biggest fundraiser in ISKCON. Can you give us 7 crore rupees so that we can procure the land? See, they were not asking 7,000 rupees, 7 crore rupees. And Guru Maharaj, without any thought, he said, yes, I will give. And within 1 month, he gave Calcutta temple 7 crore rupees. 7 crore rupees is close to 1 million US dollars. So he fulfilled his promise, and now the land is procured in Rajarhat, and a new temple is being built there. Some devotees also visited there during the pilgrimage. They saw how Guru Maharaj helped that project. And he was also helping different ministries like Cow Ministry, DT Ministry, North American GBC. He would give funds every month to them. So that was Arthe. Then comes Dhiya. Dhiya means using one's intelligence to serve Krishna, using one's intelligence to serve devotees. And I was just thinking on this principle and I was meditating that how we all read principles in scriptures, but Guru Maharaj would translate those principles into practical life. That was his dhiya, that was his intelligence. When he would give any presentation, when he would give any lecture, it would like it would sound like a uh, lecture to a children in a nursery, but he would tell the most highest topics the most simplest way. Like this picture is from Ujjain, and you can see Guru Maharaj is visibly upset. This is 3 days before Prabhupada Memorial Festival, and Guru Maharaj went on around, and Guru Maharaj was seeing the arrangements done for his Vyas Puja. So he was just checking the arrangements and he came to this entrance of the Pandal. So opposite to Guru Maharaj is the entrance of Pandal. And Guru Maharaj saw a beautiful diorama of Krishna on the entrance of this Pandal playing flute. And devotees were happy to see that because it looked very impressive to have such a grand entry for the Pandal. But Guru Maharaj became so upset, so upset. He said, who did this? Call that devotee. And then Rasananda Prabhu called Amal Bhakta Prabhu, and Guru Maharaj was so upset. Guru Maharaj said, how can you do this? So this devotee asked Guru Maharaj, don't you like the design? The design is not up to the mark. What happened? Guru Maharaj said, Krishna is our worshipable Lord. We are supposed to worship him. And you are putting him like a decoration on the entrance of the pandal, and inside you are going to worship me? How can this happen? Krishna will be standing in open sky, under sun, under rains. You should put Krishna inside. Don't make Krishna object of decoration. Such a beautiful teaching. Now we may just see that, okay, this is a decoration, it's looking nice, the theme is nice, this and that, but Guru Maharaj was looking it personally that no, Krishna is our worshipable Lord. In the same way, during GBC meetings, we made some welcome gates on the road coming to the temple, and Guru Maharaj went on round to see those gates. And we were all happy that yes, they're nice gates and nice decorations. But Guru Maharaj noticed that Srila Prabhupada's photo was touching the ground, and there was no His Divine Grace in front of his name. Guru Maharaj became very upset. How can you do this? Prabhupada's photo is touching ground. It should be on the height. He is our founder Acharya. This is another beautiful pastime. Actually, in D-Land, many of the times, prasadam was short. Sometimes some guests used to come, or we would be late serving. So what we used to do, whatever would be there, like rice or something, we would fry it again and eat. But Guru Maharaj was not happy with that. One day he saw that there was some tamarind rice kept, and then Guru Maharaj asked, who cooked this tamarind rice? I didn't taste this. They never served me. So then Indresh Prabhu told Guru Maharaj, actually, we never cooked this tamarind rice. There was rice from afternoon, and these devotees they again fried it with tamarind and made tamarind rice. Guru Maharaj became very upset. Then Guru Maharaj called me and he said, "You see, what is already offered to Krishna, how can you cook it again? When Krishna accepted it, it already became prasad. How can you cook it again?" So then I realized my mistake. So we would be very fearful that if Guru Maharaj would come, then he will catch us. So we would do it very secretly. So this particular evening, it was already very late in night, and we saw Guru Maharaj's lights were off. So we secretly went into kitchen. We rechecked Guru Maharaj's lights were off. Guru Maharaj is already resting, and we started frying the rice. And then Guru Maharaj came from behind. We said, "What's happening?" And I was shocked. He said, "Guru Maharaj, we are frying this rice because there's no prasad left. There is no sabjis and dal." So Guru Maharaj said, "Oh, I'm sorry that you could not get proper prasad. Let me do for you." Then Guru Maharaj started to fry. This is a photo Guru Maharaj frying, and then Guru Maharaj made such a tasty fried rice we all had together. So this is again dhiya, understanding the principle and applying in the practical life. Another aspect of dhiya I was thinking is that dhiya means intelligently attracting a jiva to Krishna consciousness. Not as we want him to come, but how he will be comfortable to come in Krishna consciousness. This photo is from Gurgaon. Guru Maharaj went to Gurgaon, and one colonel came to meet him. He didn't come to meet him in this place, but this photo is from Gurgaon, so I put it here. So one colonel came to meet Guru Maharaj. He was a retired colonel from army, and he was a very tough guy to preach. Very tough guy. And he was, explaining to Guru Maharaj about the army, how army functions, and how there is discipline in the army. And Guru Maharaj is listening him for 20, 25 minutes. And we all were thinking that why Guru Maharaj is listening to him, like wasting time for 20, 25 minutes, just listening to this person. But when he came to a point that how in army also they have issues of discipline, and discipline can only be maintained by proper spiritual values, that was the time Guru Maharaj started to preach. That yes, that discipline can only be maintained if you study Bhagavad Gita. That is the real solution to all world problems. And then man was listening very attentively. So then Guru Maharaj later told us that you see, preaching is an art, and only a perfect artist know how to paint Krishna in everyone's heart. It's not just about speaking, it's about how you can capture the heart of somebody. So that was again his intelligence, how he was so intelligent, how to preach to a villager, how to preach to an intellectual, how to preach to somebody who is very proud, how to preach to a politician. He was knowing everything. Another aspect of Dhiya is sensitivity. It takes intelligence to understand how others are feeling. And Guru Maharaj was expert at it. He exactly knew how devotees feel when they are around him. He knows when devotees need attention. He knew when devotees are okay if he doesn't give them attention. Like sometimes we feel that, oh, Guruma is giving the person garland or embrace or this and that, but there is always some logic behind it. That why Guruma is treating somebody in a particular way. This photo is from Nasik. Guru Maharaj went to Nasik, and Guru Maharaj has quite a few disciples in Nasik. So they were very excited that Guru Maharaj came, and they arranged for washing feet of Guru Maharaj. So Guru Maharaj noticed there was a particular devotee, and he was disciple of Radhanath Maharaj. His name is Yugal Shyam Prabhu. So Guru Maharaj noticed he is standing there, and all these disciples were washing his feet. And this Yugal Shyam Prabhu, he's a brahmachari. He was looking like, bending his head, and he was trying to manage to look what is happening. Then Guru Maharaj stopped his devotees from washing his feet. And Guru Maharaj said, call Yugal Shyam Prabhu. Yugal Shyam Prabhu came in the front. And Guru Maharaj said, do you want to wash my feet? Now imagine, a Vaishnava telling somebody, do you want to wash my feet? You're saying, yes, Maharaj, but I was feeling very shy, and all these devotees were in front, so I was not able to come in the front. And then Guru Maharaj told all devotees, you see, never create groups within ISKCON. Don't think that he is not my disciple and you are my disciple. No. As much right you have on me, all the devotees in ISKCON have right on me. So he was so sensitive to understand that a devotee, Radhanath Maharaj's disciple, is standing, he should not feel excluded. So he allowed him to wash his feet, not his own disciples. Another wonderful experience I had 1 year ago, almost 9 months ago. I went to Vyas Puja of Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and there was one devotee. He just came and sat next to me. His name was Braj Mohan Prabhu. And when he came, he told me that, Prabhu, do you remember once Maharaj was traveling in flight and he upgraded my ticket? Then I saw and I said, yes, yes, I remember we were on flight to Tirupati and Guru Maharaj upgraded your flight. He said, yes. And then he shared that, that day I felt ISKCON is a family. Because Maharaj never asked me who was my spiritual master. Maharaj never asked me from which temple I belong. He just saw that a brahmachari, a saffron robed brahmachari, a devotee in ISKCON, is in the same flight. Why he should sit in the back? He should sit with me next to me in the business class. So Guru Maharaj upgraded his ticket. And he had tears in his eyes. He was saying, that day I felt Maharaj's love, that he never discriminated among any devotee in ISKCON, and he extended his love to each and every devotee. He was so sensitive. So that was another aspect of Diya. Let's come to Vacha, words. And we know Guru Maharaj's words are like honey going in ears. When he would call our names, when he would speak to us, it would be so different. Yesterday I went to temple here, and one devotee was sharing with me that most of the times when the devotees would go to Guru Maharaj and share their problems, they were not even expecting solutions from him. Just by speaking to him and his calling out somebody's name would solve the problem, because that would give so much nourishment to the soul, so much encouragement to our heart, that he would capture by the words. Not only devotees, when we used to go to shop in Walmart or Target or Lowe's in America, the staff there would come near Guru Maharaj, and they would be so attracted to him, because Guru Maharaj would speak to them as if they are the closest friends of Guru Maharaj. And these staff in Walmart or Lowe's, these all commercial places, they would call him Swami, and they would come and they would interact with Guru Maharaj like a friend. So he would just enchant everybody by his sweet voice, by his loving words. This is from Mayapur in Nityanand Triyodashi 2017.
So can you show
And
the
Guru
last
Maharaj was,
slide, please?
yes, this is from Walmart in America.
Yeah, sorry, but I'm copying all the
Oh,
slides, just speaking.
okay,
Sorry.
okay, okay. This one is in Mayapur, and Guru Maharaj was attending the Nityanand Triyodashi festival. And I think I shared this past time, but I'm just repeating that how he was supposed to lead the kirtan on the day of the festival in Nityanand Triyodashi, and that was GBC meetings time. So all great devotees of ISKCON, Kirtanyas, and they all were present. It was his slot to lead Kirtan at 7:30 p.m. And Guru Maharaj came to the temple hall at 7:25 p.m. or so. When he came there, he saw some Gurukul boys were singing. So Guru Maharaj took darshan, he offered arati, and he started to leave because he thought these Gurukul boys are leading, so let them continue. But the Gurukul boys heard that Guru Maharaj came, so they ended their kirtan and they left. When Guru Maharaj came to know about it, he became so sad. He said, "Why? Because of me. They had to end their kirtan prematurely. They were leading their kirtan nicely, and because of me, they had to. Actually, it was Guru Maharaj's slot, but Guru Maharaj is feeling bad because these boys have stopped kirtan because of him. Now they were Gurukul boys, some teenager boys, and Guru Maharaj was the GBC chairman that year, and he was supposed to lead kirtan, but he was feeling bad for them. And then Guru Maharaj wrote an apology to these Gurukul boys that please forgive me that because of me you had to stop your kirtan prematurely. So that was his kindness. There's another incident which often I remember, and it becomes an inspiration in my life most of the times. Like this is a room where I used to stay in Sanford, and Guru Maharaj just walked inside, and I apologized that Guru Maharaj, I'm sorry, the room is not clean. Because I used to sleep on floor, so the bedding was on floor and things were scattered here and there. The Guru Maharaj came and sat there, and I apologized. Guru Maharaj, sorry, my room is not clean. And then Guru Maharaj said, no wonder, it is always like this. And he started laughing. Then Guru Maharaj said, I want to teach you one recipe. So I said, yes, Guru Maharaj. So he came come to the kitchen. Then he started teaching me how to cook pesto pasta. And he gave the recipe, and I cooked. Guru Maharaj liked it. And Guru Maharaj got this habit from Srila Prabhupada because Shrutakirti Prabhu recalls in his memories that when Prabhupada liked something, he would take it for weeks together, same item. So Guru Maharaj also got that habit from Srila Prabhupada, and when he liked something, he would take it every day. So next day, Guru Maharaj asked me to prepare the same pesto pasta for him. And that day, I don't know why, but he didn't like pesto pasta, and he became very upset. And he came to the kitchen, he said, show me what you put. So I told Guru Maharaj, whatever you wrote, the recipe, I followed and I put all these things. Guru Maharaj said, no, you did not put the right amount of pine nuts, and therefore it didn't come out right. Now I told Guru Maharaj, you see, this packet, half we put yesterday and half I put today. So I put the right amount. The Guru Maharaj said, no, you have not put the right. Yesterday you put lot more, and today you put less. So anyway, Guru Maharaj was upset. And then he said, you also come and you take prasad. Now, as we do in India generally, you have seen our mothers, because they have to clean the kitchen. So when they eat, whatever is left, they put in their plate. So I did the same thing. I put the spaghetti, and whatever sauce was left, the pesto sauce, I put in my plate so that I can clean it later. And I was eating. Guru Maharaj looked at my plate and said, he was already upset. And he looked at my plate and said, who eats this much sauce with pasta? How can you manage this much sauce? Then I was silent. Then anyway, I finished my food. The next morning, this was in afternoon, and in evening, Guru Maharaj took dinner, but I was not around. So Guru Maharaj asked Indresh Prabhu, where am I? And Indresh Prabhu said, I am somewhere else. So anyway, Guru Maharaj took rest. Morning, Guru Maharaj rang his bell. So I rushed. I didn't take bath, but I just rushed as I was. Guru Maharaj said, "Why didn't you take prasad last night?" I said, "Guru Maharaj, I was not hungry. Therefore, I didn't take prasad last night." Guru said, "No, that is not the reason. Because I chastised you during the lunch, therefore you did not take dinner in night." I said, "No, Guru Maharaj is not hungry." He said, "No, you have to take prasad now." I said, "Guru Maharaj, it's morning. I have not taken bath." "No, no, you have to take prasad now." Then he fed me prasad in the morning. So by his words, by his action, it was very, very inspiring and heart touching. This pastime happened in April, in the summer. Now coming down to September in Ujjain, Guru Maharaj was having his Vyas Puja. And in the lunch, during the lunch time, there were so many items which we served Guru Maharaj. So after he took his lunch, I was mopping his floor, and Guru Maharaj was chanting in the room. And Guru Maharaj on his own, he said, "You know, I often feel bad about one thing." And I was silent. I said, "What happened, Guru Maharaj?" He said, "I often feel bad that day you were eating, and while eating, I chastised you. I should not have chastised you while eating. So whenever I remember that, I feel bad." Then I told Guru Maharaj, "I am a village boy. I am not having any experience. What is spaghetti? What is sauce? I don't know. I learned all this in your company. So I don't know all these things." Guru Maharaj said, "Whatever it is, I should have not chastised you while you were taking prasad." So his words were perfect. When to use what word, he knew how to encourage devotees. Now I'll tell you something funny. He also knew when we are getting proud. So he would fix that also. Like this is from New Jersey. Guruma is at house of Purnachandra Prabhu. And Geeta Kirti Mataji, who's another disciple from New Jersey, she came to see Guru Maharaj. And the room was little in the L shape. So Guru Maharaj told that whenever some female devotee comes to see me, you should be around. But as she wanted to speak some personal things to Guru Maharaj, so I sat in a way that Guru Maharaj could see me, but she could not see me. So she was sitting right in front of Guru Maharaj, and since the room was L shaped, I was sitting on the edge. So Guru Maharaj could see me that I am there. And now she was speaking so many things. And in the course of her speaking, she told about her children. So she has two sons, Neil and Karthik. So she was telling Guru Maharaj, "I wish Neil and Karthik also become like Krishna Kishore and he travels with you and serves you in this and that." So she spoke 2, 3 sentences and Guru Maharaj said, "Don't speak further. He's sitting at the back. I am concerned he'll become proud by hearing all this." So just he shared, he started laughing. So this is a picture from there. He was managing the situation. And this is the last thing I want to share for today. This is from Ujjain during the lockdown. And these three devotees, Krishna Arpit Prabhu, this is the first one, and Rishabhananda Prabhu in the middle, and towards the front is Krishna Mukunda Prabhu. So they are young devotees. They went to D-Land to serve Guru Maharaj. And one day, Guru Maharaj was standing on his window, by his window in the office, and he saw these three devotees in the garden, the temple garden. So Guru Maharaj said, "Can you call these boys?" So I went down, I called them. They came up, and Guru Maharaj started speaking to them. Guru Maharaj said, "You know, I often feel bad that I took you all to D-Land to preach, but you had to do so much of hard work there. You all are preachers, you are educated boys, and you had to work so many you have to work in so hard situations in D-Land. So please forgive me." Guru Maharaj is asking forgiveness. "Please forgive me that you had to work so hard." And these devotees were completely melted. They said, "Guru Maharaj, no. Actually, we as the junior most devotees in temple would have never would have no access to you. But because you took us to D-Land, we had access of being with you all the time." And then Guru Maharaj said, "Yes, I also relish those days when we were together and we were serving and with the cutting trees and building rooms and this and that. And that's how Guru Maharaj was sharing his heart. So this is his vacha. Just by his words, he could win the hearts of devotees. Whatever hardships devotees did there, they all forgot when Guru Maharaj spoke in that way. So I was just reflecting on these four aspects, that how Guru Maharaj gave himself so much to anybody who came near to him. Just yesterday, one devotee was mentioning to me that he is from South Africa. And as we know, South Africa's situation is not very good. There's so many crimes, and even economically, the devotees struggle. So Guru Maharaj was arranging for him to shift to America, and he was paying for his green card application and everything. So he was so touched that even mother cannot do this much, as much Guru Maharaj was doing for his each disciple, as much as he could do. So that was his life. His life was for others. Just like Krishna tells about trees to his Gopa friends, they live for the benefit of others. Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very
Hare
much,
Krishna.
Krishna Kishore. Again, such a wonderful, the way that you are presented. I hope we are kind of here blessed, because in a way I think that you are also preparing some presentation for South Africa devotees, so we probably also end up seeing.
No, this one is exclusively for you.
Oh, Jai.
This one.
Thank you very much. I think
I'll show you what I'm doing. I'll just show you what I'm doing for South African devotees. So what I thought, here we will have 6 sessions on Guru Maharaj. So I took 16 qualities of Lord Ram from Ramayana, and I correlated those 16 qualities of Lord Ram with Guru Maharaj. How Guru Maharaj exhibited those 16 qualities, like Gunavan, then Viryavan, Dharmagya, then Kritagya, how he's grateful. Oh, this is that pesto sauce recipe in Guru Maharaj's handwriting. If somebody wants, you can
Wow.
take screenshot.
Yes, I will.
So that is fresh basil, Parmesan cheese, olive oil, pine nuts, hing and salt. Then Satyavak, Dridhavrata. So many of the pastimes are same, but theme is different. Charitrena, this Guru Maharaj is planting. Like that. Then Sarva Bhuteshu Hita, Vidwan, Samartha, Ek Priyadarshana, Atmavan, Jita Krodho, Anasuyaka, then anger. The another quality of Lord Ram is, from his anger even demigods would tremble. So there are pastimes of chastisement. So like that, this I'm doing for South African devotees.
Wonderful, Prabhu. I think
Yeah.
you also probably in our coming session you can share some with us also, how this session goes. So for us now, if anyone have any questions,
I
anything that
just
you
want
want.
to give a compliment that you are a combination of His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj, the way he speaks, and most of the qualities of Guru Maharaj, of course, because you have lived with him. So very good. So this combination is deadly, bro, in you. You make a great preacher.
I'm a I'm a boy from a small village, Prabhu, not
Doesn't
cultured
look like.
in my language.
Doesn't look like.
Whatever in my life is just blessing of Guru Maharaj.
You have grasped, you adopted all those things which are required for the urban preaching in most in rest of the world. It's very nice.
Yeah. Shri Krishna Prabhu, do you have a question while you have the mic when you want to ask, or we will move on?
No, not really. I have no question, but I want to take his time later on some time because
Yeah,
I need his
I'll
time.
call you, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
sure.
call you.
Yeah. Okay. We go to Pranaveshwar Prabhu.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Am I audible, Prabhu?
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Prabhu, thank you so much. My most humble obeisances at your lotus feet, and it's so nice to have your association. Thanks to His Grace Somendra Krishna Prabhu to get your valuable time for us in Australia. We are really hankering for your association. Many devotees whom you wouldn't know, they know you and they ask me and Tanvi Radha, and they ask us, when is Krishna Kishore Prabhu going to visit Australia? So that is the intensity with which we are praying that hopefully, immigration can clear your visa and you can visit us. So this time around, Prabhu, we will do it very properly, apply visa and see, how we can get you here. We'll pray to Guru Maharaj that he actually does something so that you can start visiting us. So we are really missing your association, Prabhu, here in Australia. Much broader congregation will benefit when you are here. That's my prayers. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your wonderful class. It is so nice to hear and feel so closer to Guru Maharaj through your Vani and through your personal realization, personal experience with Guru Maharaj. It opens up our heart. Like you said, that Guru Maharaj knew all the disciples so deeply and would understand, and this whole perspective that you gave today was really wonderful. Prabhu, I just had a quick question and a reflection, Prabhu, that like Srila Rup Goswami understood the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, and like that, our acharyas have always understood the mind of their spiritual predecessors very deeply. His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur understood the deep desire of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and he gave him 3 instructions. And Srila Prabhupada, actually, when he writes, absolute is sentient, thou hast proved, impersonal calamity thou hast moved. And that's when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that he understands me and just publish whatever he writes without any concern. So Srila Prabhupada understood his Guru Maharaj's intention and his complete annihilation of Mayavad, and that's why Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. So Prabhu, how do we understand? And you have wonderfully actually explained, but I would like you to just maybe reflect on this point of understanding Srila Prabhupada's mood to the deepest level. How did Guru Maharaj reflect when he used to help his godbrothers, when he was helping ISKCON without concerning whether they are my disciples, other disciples, helping them bring everyone together within ISKCON. Now, Guru Maharaj said, never leave ISKCON. ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada's body. He established that book, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, being the founder Acharya for ISKCON. And he was very foresighted in that. So, Prabhu, any quick reflections how Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam can be reflected in Guru Maharaj's case?
When you were speaking, I was thinking of an example that when mother feeds their children, so mother doesn't give a dozen chapatis on the plate because the mother knows the child can only handle one at a time. So mother gives one, and then when child finishes one, then she may give the another one. In the same way, if we look at these acharyas, they first surrendered to the very clear instructions of their gurus. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa and Sanatan, you come, you dedicate your life. They left everything. They followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then the second step is when they understood the heart. In the same way, when we see Guru Maharaj, we see what was so special in Guru Maharaj that Prabhupada was so merciful unto him. If we look at it externally, I mean, there were so many qualified disciples Srila Prabhupada had. And even if we say more qualified than Guru Maharaj externally, there should not be any conflict in that because they were achieving things for Srila Prabhupada. But Prabhupada saw that he gave him an instruction that, okay, translate my books into Bengali. And he started that service immediately. While Prabhupada was living, in that time only Srila Guru Maharaj started translating Bhagavad Gita. He started translating Back to Godhead magazines. And he would go to Srila Prabhupada for asking for any corrections and modifications. So Prabhupada saw that how much this disciple is open to follow my instructions. And then Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, that happens. That Manobhishtam comes as a second step. When we finish at least our part of following the given instructions, then the second step comes when we realize the mood of the spiritual master. And that's how Guru Maharaj caught those instructions. Prabhupada is saying, never leave ISKCON. That was not to Guru Maharaj. Prabhupada is instructing Madhudesa Prabhu. But Guru Maharaj caught it. He was telling some other disciple that if your love will be shown, how we cooperate with each other. But Guru Maharaj caught the essence. He was chastising Surabhi Maharaj and others and telling, no, GBC is the main authority. And Guru Maharaj caught the essence. So it was not instructions to him actually. But because he valued the given instructions, then the Manobhishtam comes when he absorbs the mood of the spiritual master. So for us also, we have to first reflect what instructions Guru Maharaj already given us. Okay, be a good devotee, chant your rounds nicely, cooperate with devotees, be a humble devotee, cooperate with local authorities, and be under GBC, never leave ISKCON, read Prabhupada books daily. There are so many instructions which Guru Maharaj already given us. When we follow them with sincerity, then the second step comes, when we understand the mood and mission of Guru Maharaj, and then further he guides us through inspiration, through guiding us from inside. That's what I feel. There can be, mature understanding, but this is my childish understanding.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Shyam Sundar Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
As usual, I think no words can express the elucidation and the expressions and the depth that you have given to us. I always feel that as if you should never stop. I have a very simple question, Prabhu. You talk a lot about sincerity. You have talked a lot about humility, right? But how do we understand when we are sincere? Or whether we are becoming more sincere? Because the day I will understand that I've become sincere, that means I've got pride. And if I keep feeling that I'm not sincere, sometimes people will feel, why is this false humility this guy is trying to say, Prabhuji, मैं तो दास अनुदास हूँ, अब ये feel कर रहा है, नहीं कर रहा है. It should not look pretentious also. It should not look that fine balance of the fact that we are not full of pride when we are saying this, or the person is not feeling like that. The fact that when I'm sincere, other people or the guru is thinking I'm sincere, but at least I'm not feeling that I'm sincere, so I have to go so deep. Similarly, on humility, how do we meditate and go deep into this?
Actually, that is a normal problem. Guru Maharaj was also asked a similar question, and Guru Maharaj said, see, as you grow in bhakti, you realize you are not a devotee. So it will always be a problem that how we realize we are becoming sincere or not. If we genuinely becoming sincere, then we will feel that we are not becoming sincere. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to feel. He is not even a devotee. But there is another detail added to it. If we are becoming more enthusiastic to serve, and that too with a mood that I am given this opportunity, I don't deserve it, but I'm given this opportunity, then we don't neglect the mercy which we are receiving in our life. Like two situations. If somebody says, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, you are doing wonderful preaching, there are two ways to respond to it. One is, no, 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 I'm not doing anything, and people are coming on their own, and it's happening, and this and that. That is one way of telling it. Another way of telling it is, thank you so much. This is all mercy of Srila Prabhupada and my spiritual master. So we are not deriding the efforts. We are not negating the success which we are achieving through our endeavors or whatever is the reason. But we are giving that credit to the parampara. We are giving that credit to the spiritual master. So that way, we are not being falsely humble, or we are not trying to pose superficially that we are sincere, but we are accepting the results because we have received the mercy and empowerment of the spiritual master. So that is a very honest way of telling. Therefore, when Guru Maharaj was asked that, Guru Maharaj, what we should do when people appreciate us, Guru Maharaj would say, fold your hands and say, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. It's such a simple answer, but it's such a deep meaning that we are not negating the appreciation, or we are not negating the feeling that yes, we are also doing something. But how we are able to do that is because of the empowerment of the spiritual master. If that spiritual master doesn't give that empowerment, I will not be able to do anything. So that way we can balance that situation.
Prabhu, can I ask you a counter question on this? Actually,
Yes.
हम लोग इतने स्मार्ट मंकीज हैं, एटलीस्ट मैं इतना स्मार्ट मंकी हूँ बंदर, कि कोई अगर ये बताएगा ना, तो मतलब ये मुझे बात जो आपने बोली, आई न्यू इट लॉन्ग टाइम बैक, से ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्रील प्रभुपाद, यू नो, तो अभी वो भी पैरट की तरह अब बोलना आ जाता है ना, जैसे हम नॉर्मल, मैं आपको नॉर्मल कृष्ण किशोर की जगह कृष्ण किशोर प्रभु, आई डोंट नो व्हाट्स योर कार्मिक नेम, जैसे हम बोलना चालू कर देते हैं, दिस एक्स नेम सोमेश टू सोमेंद्र कृष्ण प्रभु, और प्रभु प्रभु जी आप कैसे हैं, यू नो, हम लोग कितना प्रभु मीन करते हैं ये जरूरी नहीं है, उसी के साथ शायद लड़ाई भी लड़ रहे हो, प्रभु मीन्स मास्टर, बट मेनी टाइम्स वी आर थिंकिंग व्हेन वी आर प्रीचिंग स्पेशली दैट नो नो आई एम द लीडर, ये थोड़ी ना है, मैं इनको पढ़ा रहा हूँ, है ना, तो वो लेकिन बोलना आ जाता है प्रभु जी, है ना. तो सिमिलरली व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से प्रभु इज लाइक यू जस्ट सेड ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्रील प्रभुपाद, कृष्णाज मर्सी, बंदर की तरह ये भी रट लेते हैं प्रभु जी हम लोग, है ना. लेकिन whether I'm really sincerely feeling that or not is $1 million question, how to inculcate that habit of feeling that, giving it to the acharya. ये
We don't have
sincerity
to worry
कैसे लाएं?
about it.
बड़ी
We don't
समस्या है
have to
मेरे
worry
जीवन में
about
प्रभु.
it, because the world is designed in such a way, Prabhu. If we don't become humble, we will be humbled.
And
वाह.
One day,
I
situation will
remember,
come.
it's a Prayatnanti Parmeshwar. Keep doing that.
Yeah, the situations will come. We will become a laughing stock if we will not realize that we are just the mercy bearers of the spiritual master. Even after practicing Krishna consciousness for 10, 20, 30 years, we'll end up doing mistakes that whole world will laugh on us. So the world is designed in such a way that if we are not cautiously humble today, we will be humbled by the situation. So this process is purifying. Now we want to be purified happily, or we want to be purified the hard way. It's up to us. That's up to us.
Thank you so much, Krishna Prabhu. It really answers my question. I'm really gratitude to you. Thank you so much. Wonderful answer.
Hare Krishna.
By the way, I'm in India. I couldn't meet you at Mayapur because you were in Ujjain. But I hope to see
You're
you
coming in
during
September.
Yes, I will be there in September at Vyas Puja.
Great,
बट अगर आपको
great.
बीच में मैं कहीं टक्कर जाऊं, कहीं बॉम्बे में कहीं पे भी आप हो, तो आई एम हैप्पी टू आपसे मिलने
Yes,
के लिए
yes,
हमेशा
Prabhu.
ललायत रहूंगा. लेट मी नो, वी विल कनेक्ट ऑफलाइन.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Bol. Thank you,
Very well.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
So we are almost at the end of the time. If anyone have a quick question, because also Prabhu has to have
Hare
obviously.
Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Just a comment, Prabhu, not a question.
Okay. Yes,
It was such a nectarian class, Prabhu. I wish that you should come every Ishta Goshti, and the slides that you have shown, that you have prepared for South African devotees, you should also cover that up with us in every Ishta Goshti. It was such a nice class, Prabhu, today. It was like it
Hare
should go
Krishna.
on and on. It was such a nice class, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Agree.
Mataji. Please bless me that I can adopt these qualities in my life.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
one
Thank you so much.
one god brother recently gave me a feedback, and I really appreciated that feedback. He said, "Don't just remember Guru Maharaj, follow Guru Maharaj also." Yes. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Krishna Kishore Prabhu, you just humbled us for that last sentence. Thank you very much, Prabhu. So thank you very much. And I think you also have left us all with a very good state, with a good consciousness to go towards Janmashtami in 2 weeks' time. So this is the best thing that we can all meditate as we are going towards the biggest festival of the year. And as Mataji and also others also said that we also wanted to have more of your association. And obviously we will work it out because obviously August and then September, Vyasa Puja is also coming. So yeah, quite a few wonderful events that are coming, and we will be seeing. We'll work out that with the time and as per your availability, that we want to have your association and presence in our life more and more. So, thank you very much, Prabhu, for joining us. From all of us, if you all please, at least open your mic and chant 3 times Hari Bol to Prabhu, and then we finish our session. It's a very Vaishnava way to say goodbye. So we all do together. Hari Bol.
Hari
Haribol,
Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol.
Hari
Haribol,
Bol, Hari Bol.
Haribol.
Krishna Kishore Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki
Jai.
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 Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Krishna, everyone. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Thank
Prabhu.
you. Hari Bol.